All right, what's going on, traders? Today's mid-market futures recap. So there was a ton of money to be made today, and I didn't make any of it. I actually gave some away. A little bit of the profit that I made yesterday. Actually, most of the profit that I made yesterday. I only took one trade. Um, I'll get to that in a minute. So let's look at the Nasdaq. Actually, I'm gonna do a little something different today. I'm gonna look at the Nasdaq and the Russell. But because that's what I'm watching now. Well, for the Nasdaq, you see we've just had this another day of chopping around in the first hour. Um, I'm sure I've been one thing that I've noticed during this year is days like this. There's another trader I watch. I won't put his name out right now in this video. If you want to know who it is that I'm talking about, just go ahead and say who is it in the comment section below. But anyway, the point is, um, when the market is like this for the broader markets, there seems to be a lot of individual stocks that have really good moves, mainly penny stocks. The stocks. This guy, he trades stocks lower than like $10. Normally no more than like $15 or $20. But more than, I think his range is like in between $10 and $5. But he usually has really good days when the market, when the broader markets are just, weak, or just, trading in these tight, choppy zones. Um, that's something that, I don't know if that, helps anybody out there, but that's something that I've noticed since I've been trading, well, while I through my journey of trading this year, trading the Nasdaq, mostly the Nasdaq. Um, it's pretty much the same for everything else. But anyway, so right now we're trading back down to the low of the low of today's future session in the pre-market. Good chance that we close. We got this candle here. I don't know what you would call it, but it looks really bearish. Um, it's a good chance that we close this gap today. It definitely won't be tomorrow, since the market, well, it could be in the pre-market, before the, like, in the Asian and the European market session. Um, but there's a good chance that we close this gap today. It's not even lunchtime yet. There's plenty of time for us to continue trading bearish. I didn't think that we would have any real bulls. I kind of mentioned that in the pre-market. Like, if I was to even consider taking a bullish play, it would be, just a quick in and out. So I wasn't even looking to take any plays long today. I was only looking short, and we were just chopping around. I actually ended up taking a trade, a little too aggressive. Maybe there was a sense of FOMO, and the reason there could have been a sense of FOMO, I don't know why that came up. Um, because of this little guy right here. I was watching it. In the first few minutes at the open, it traded up. I saw this long candle here, and a lot of this has to do with how I've been watching the Nasdaq over the years. Even though the Nasdaq, it could have been the same thing. I've seen the Nasdaq just have a huge drop, and it's continued to drop. Not usually as clean as this, but so my thought process was, when I saw this big, huge bearish candle, I felt like it would be a good idea to wait for some type of pullback, some type of retest, retracement, some trading in the opposite direction before we had this, but that didn't happen, and we finally got a little rest here. But by that time, I felt like I would have been chasing it, because I mean, this is almost a vertical drop. So I just felt like it would have been chasing if I would have, once I saw these the bullish candles come in. I felt like I would have been chasing. So I wouldn't even, I didn't really even watch it. But as you can see, is continuing to trade bearish. It's just, almost free falling. At some point it's going to have to pull back at some point, but it doesn't look to be slowing down anytime soon. This is an interesting candle here, but that's a really, really strong bearish play that I really hate that I didn't get to participate in. I should have gotten up here, because of how much I've been struggling with NQ. With NQ, I the Russell is not really the same. The way, if anybody's interested in trading the Russell, just the way that I see it, the Russell, you have to, it helps to be really aggressive because it doesn't, it's not, as volatile as like NASDAQ or even the S&P, or I think the Dow is kind of clean too, but you can, the what I like about the Russell is you can risk less. Then this move, like if you compare it to a similar move in the NASDAQ, it's like almost half the risk. You know what I'm saying? Just trading it based off support and resistance. So, and we have cleaner moves like this. There's some days where it doesn't really trade. Just it's the typical price action for anything in the stock market. But anyway, yeah. So I'm kicking myself for missing all of this. This is all the money that I, when at the beginning of the video, I said it was a lot of money, a ton of money that could have been made today. And this is the money that could have been made today by me, but I missed all of it. However, because I felt like there should have been some kind of pullback and retracement that we didn't get, I started watching the NASDAQ. And that brings me to my trades for the day, which you can see that I lost 185 taking one trade. Is basically it filled me in and pulled directly back. I was being somewhat aggressive here. I was all of these wicks I should have just stayed. I should have took the hint, with all of these wick candles, but I saw this area here. It looked like it could turn around, and with this with all this selling pressure here, I felt like we break this area here. Now I've seen it sometimes where we have this kind of trading and it breaks and then it drops down. I figured we could at least get to like this 70-15 area, but what happened was I got filled, and as soon as I got filled, it maybe dropped like 2 or 3 ticks and then pulled it straight back, hung around there for a minute before proceeding to stop me out. So then I just I at that time once I took the loss, then I took the hint, and I figured we were going to be choppy for a while. We're just going to trade in this this range. So I would decided to just wait it out and to see if we can get action like this. That action, but by the time this pattern here formed up, I just had lost all interest in trading. So when I get when those emotions start coming in, it's just good to just hang it up for the day and just do something else, or just anything but trade. What I'm saying? So I a little bit frustrated that I missed the move in the Russell, and then with this choppiness in the NASDAQ. So I just stopped watching it by this time, and then we finally had a decent price action to where it was somewhat tradable. But it is what it is. There's of course, like we all know that the market will be closed tomorrow for the U.S. session. And morning for former President Bush. So I will see you guys Thursday for the pre-market insight. I hope you guys are killing it out there, crushing it, taking profits. And see you guys later.